Hi Insiders, it's Keelan here from Success Insider, Community Manager. And today we've got a very special guest for you. It's one of our recent graduates from Life Mastery Achievers, or LMA as it's known internally. So she's going to be sharing with you her experiences on the course, some of her insights and her wisdom, but more importantly, her successes and achievements. So without any further ado, do you want to start with just what's your name, where are you based, and what do you do for work?
Okay, so my name is Rochelle. I'm actually living in Brooklyn, New York. Um, I work as a charity researcher for a company that services private foundations in the US. And basically we help our clients to grant to charities all over the world.
Okay, what kind of charities? Is it every single charity you can imagine, or?
Yeah, so every
Yeah.
single charity, there are ways to get around it. So even if they're not used, typically they need to be registered in the US as a public charity. But even if they're not registered in the US, but they're registered, let's say in London, in
Mhm.
England, there are organizations or other entities that money can flow through, so they can pass it on to those charities.
I see, I
Yeah.
see, I see. Okay. So what we're going to start with, if it's okay with you, let's just think back to when you first started LMA or just before that. Could you give us a sense of where you were at in your headspace at that time? Really, what was the biggest obstacle in your life that you wanted to overcome before LMA?
So basically, I was in the state where um, I knew something has to change. I knew this is not the life I want,
Mm,
but getting to where I want to be, that was basically like the hugest challenge I had. I had no idea how to move from point A to point B.
mm,
Um, it felt like a roller coaster. Like some days you were so upbeat, you're ready to get involved in it, you're ready to move, but you just feel so stuck
mm.
that you just push it aside. So all your dreams and you stop dreaming sometimes, and then sometimes again it comes up. And so it's just back and forth with that mental, in that mental space, basically.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you wanted to get away from that almost ping-ponging between, yes,
Yeah.
oh, I had a beautiful dream last night and now I'm dreaming in my day-to-day. And then, the next day just like, I can't be bothered with anything. And
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
It
okay.
makes no sense thinking about it because you can't move. You can't move towards it. You don't know how
Yeah,
to do it. So
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So um just to go a little bit deeper with that before we get to
Mhm.
the course itself, just could you just describe to us what would maybe a bad day look like, or just a below average day? So you wake up in the morning, how are you feeling?
So if it's for work, I wake up on a work day
Mm.
and I feel like with COVID, it's like, okay, I gotta get up, gotta go to work. And my work is like right in my living room. So
Yeah.
it's not like it's not like you have to get up and get dressed and dolls up to go to work. It's like roll out of bed, take a
Roll over.
shower, brush your teeth, yep, and then just get yourself to your little makeshift office.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
so the most I would do was just be grateful that I actually woke up in the morning. And then um, on the not so good days, I would just get on with the schedule. Yeah, that's typically how it went. It's like nothing extraordinary. It's just the same thing over and over. Just feel like a hamster on a wheel, basically.
And how would that make you feel emotionally?
Emotionally drained.
Mm,
Like you have no energy at the end of the day. You're ready for your day to end, like it's the middle of the day and you're like, oh my gosh, I got 5 more hours of this to go.
mm,
And your head is just going in all, your mind is thinking in all directions. You're
mm,
not really focused on anything
mm,
in specific. And even though you have like a to-do list, you would probably complete, maybe I would do like maybe half the list,
yeah.
and then just say, tomorrow's another day, I'll take care of it then.
Mm,
There's a lot of procrastination and a lot of wasting time, basically. And
mm,
then once work is finished, head to the TV, watch the TV for a while,
mm.
take a shower, and then back to bed. Like that's basically the day.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
when you came across LMA, what was that experience like? Your first kind of awareness of the course, the success inside of what we do, and prior to you joining up, were there any barriers that came up that you felt, whether emotionally or whatever really, that was preventing you from joining, and how did you overcome that, if so?
Okay, so I have this thing where I overanalyze everything in my mind.
Okay.
And I think about finances, I think about time, I think about everything that goes into this. So when I came across LMA and I saw the energy that Tim had, I was like, okay, this seems like a good thing. He's talking about the things that I'm thinking about. And I knew I wanted to do that because I made like towards the end of 2020, I made 2021 like the year of change for me, just to focus on myself.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, like, this would be a nice way to start. So I kept on thinking about it. I was like laying on my bed and I was watching it. And then I said to myself, you know what? Fighting against this mental block where it says, oh, gosh, it's $1,000, like you're throwing $1,000 in one thing. Are you sure this is going to work? You know, questioning myself and everything. And then finally, I just jump up and say, you know what, I'm doing this. Worst case scenario, I get nothing out of it. Best case scenario, it helped change my life. So I decided to take the chance and I signed up. And still, the first class, I was like, okay, this sounds good. All right. And I'm keep going through it. And it's like, okay, so I've heard of this before, but never really gave it any chance. But then the exercises, he didn't just tell you like what the problem is. He didn't just tell you the solution, how to get around it. But what he did was he got you involved because he gave you exercises to do right on the spot that literally got you thinking in the mental space that you should be in.
Yes.
So that really worked for me. Like it sealed the deal when everything. And then afterwards, even with the challenges, the challenges at the end of each week, for the first couple of weeks I did this, I did it on my own because season 12 hasn't started yet. So I started on my own and I was like, there is no way I'm doing a Facebook Live. So I just I brushed it off. And then I decided, okay, I did like 2 sessions, 2 weeks. And I'm like, okay, let me leave that alone. The new session is going to be season 12 is going to be starting and I'm going to join into that. And then I'll take it from there. So he started on with season 12. And then I still didn't get to do the live until week 3 when he mentioned that there was someone who didn't do the challenges until week 3, and then they ended up winning like the final prize to get to go on this big retreat. And I'm like, okay, maybe I can challenge myself and give myself the opportunity to get involved in that. So it's like, but it's retreat. It's like being with all these other people that I have no idea. It's all the way on the other side of the globe. And I've never been that far without my family around. So am I sure I'm going to do this? And then there it goes again. It's like around and around and around. And I'm like, yeah, you're going to do it. You're going to commit yourself to this. And again, that integrity thing's that bumping up. And I'm like, okay, you got to do this for yourself. Like, even if you don't win, at least you gave it a shot and you grew because this is not something you would normally do. So I started doing the lives and I was like so scared to press that button every time. But it got easier and easier and easier. And I guess that's what he says. It's like, if you continue doing the right thing over and over and over again, it does end up getting easier. So like, no, I'm not scared. I still have that little anxiety there, but I know it's there, but I'm not letting it control me anymore. So yeah, it's like, it's a life changer, I would say. Yeah,
so let's drill into that a little bit more. So it sounds like what you're saying. So skeptical. As soon as you saw LMA, you start, not putting up a wall. You start building your castle to stay behind this, saying, "No, I'm not doing this."
Exactly.
Pull the drawbridge up. So you go through the first week, and it's not until you get to that third week, the live, so you can still win some of the I guess incentive prizes that we have for completing your challenges for each week, even if you start now.
Right.
And that was like, okay, let's get on board. So let's think about at that point where you began to really commit to the challenges. What was that like for you? Could you just share with us maybe some points that stand out for you in terms of realizations about the way you were thinking about things, or relating to external things that were affecting your mood, that sort of thing? Was there any moments that really stand out for you as that was something that I think was very useful for yourself?
Hmm. Yeah, so it was like again, Tim always went like the extra mile. So even though he gave you what you think you need at the moment, you always find he comes back with something more.
Mm,
So he didn't just open your eyes to what you're struggling with,
mm,
but he also provided that extra tool that you need to work on to get over that.
mm,
And then again, reinforces it with all these activities that keeps you involved. So
mm,
I know for me, basically, when it comes to getting involved, I usually take a back seat. Like I would stay at the back and I would see what others are doing and then decide if I want to follow through with this. But I feel like once he gives you all these little nuggets and all these things in your head and he planted those seeds, it's like you're ready to move, you're ready to do something, no matter how small it is.
mm,
So different things throughout the day that you keep focusing on. And, like every time things come up, and I even look at myself and I'm like giving people advice now on things to do. And I'm like, wow.
mm.
And so, yeah, it's like a total shift in your mental space.
Yeah.
And that is just remarkable because not everybody can do that,
Mm, mm.
really. And then his passion and everything that he does, it just grabs you in and makes you like it shake you like, come on, do something.
So what was it? What was it that really shook you? What when you talk about that change of
Mhm,
of mindset? Let's think
mhm,
about the mindset you had before LMA, and
mhm,
then when these realizations start happening, because they're different for different people. We've all got our
mhm.
own specific little barriers or obstacles we want to overcome. What was it for you? What was the thing that really shifted for yourself?
So the way I think,
Yeah, yeah,
the way I think,
yeah.
because I think like throughout the entire course, that is what it always came back to. It's like, what do you tell yourself in your mind? You
Mm,
know? So
mm,
sometimes like you come down so harshly on yourself
mm,
without even realizing it because it's so natural. You've been so conditioned to do that.
mm,
So you criticize yourself so much for every little thing you do, every little mistake you make.
mm,
And who's to say that that's really a mistake? It's not really a mistake unless you label it as such.
mm,
So these are things like he put into there, and then really just keeps focusing on that mental, like how do you think about yourself? And it's the way you think about yourself is the way you present yourself to others. Like,
mm,
wow. It's like, okay, I always say you teach people how to treat you, but
mm,
I used to say that without even realizing like what that really meant.
mm,
I just think it's like, okay, the physical things, like, okay, you say this, you say that in a conversation, and then that really tells the person who you are, but not really thinking about the subconscious as well, like the things you bring out, like whether you smile, whether you say hi to people. It's just little things,
mm,
you know? And that's what I grabbed from all of that. It's
mm,
like, stop coming down on yourself because you don't do it to other people. You always try to build other people up. So why not try to build yourself up as well instead of breaking yourself down? And
mm,
then when you break yourself down, you don't even realize you're doing it. So you don't even flip the switch to build yourself back up. So you
mm,
just keep going deeper and deeper and deeper in this abyss.
mm,
So it's like, come out of that, like tell yourself. And if you catch yourself doing it, pull yourself up,
mm,
like tell
mhm.
yourself some positive stuff and reverse it and say, no, I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, because if once you start doing that, it's so hard to really focus and give yourself self-love anymore. It's like
Mhm,
you always look at yourself as, oh, you're a failure. Like,
mm,
what are you doing?
mhm. Yeah,
So
that's really good a really good insight there in terms of that. What the key word that comes to my mind in terms of what your experience has been like is awareness, a real
Oh,
awareness.
definitely.
Yeah, does that
Yep.
sound right?
Yep.
How does
Yes.
that make you feel? Kind of,
Awakening that awareness. I
yeah,
mean, it gives me goosebumps when I think about it, like
yeah,
how far I've come throughout. And it's only 6 weeks. Like you went through 6 weeks. It went through so fast. But the
mm,
amount of information you got and
mm,
the way it just helps you to flip that mental thinking.
mm.
It's incredible. It really is.
Beautiful to see it. It's fantastic because in all these conversations that I'm privileged to be able to have with
Mhm.
our graduates, we were just so light when I asked you to think about how you were feeling before, etc. And now, and if we can actually let's just end the last two questions. And so this one's really going to be just thinking about again your mindset now and your mindset then, and that awareness really like let's dig into how exactly you were feeling before and contrast that to now.
Mhm.
Where would you say the main points of difference are? So you wake up today and you feel
I feel energized, like I'm looking forward to the day
mm,
and I want to do more. Like,
mm,
okay, um, literally when I got up in the morning, the first thing I would have done with my old self was put on the TV. And I got so, I guess, brainwashed.
mm,
It would be on CNN until I'm ready to go and do my work. And then even sometimes when I'm working, the TV is still on so I can hear what's going on in the background. So that messed up my focus as well because I'm not really focusing on the task ahead. I'm
mhm,
literally focusing on the TV, trying to do different things.
mhm.
And that's one of the things I've learned is that multitasking really kills your brain cells.
Yeah, yeah,
Never heard that before. I've never put that together before.
mm,
So it's like, wow, am I really doing all of this to myself?
mm,
So like the whole thing about getting up, not feeling high on energy, just feeling down, just like going through the daily process, that has definitely changed. So I wake up, I want to do some yoga.
oh, good for you. Wow.
I grab my
Yeah,
Bible. I want to read some Bible.
yeah,
And I
yeah,
have like, I wrote up like a whole schedule,
mm,
trying to schedule everything. And then
mm,
during the day, like, when I finish, I just like kind of tweak it here and there for the next day.
mhm,
And so it works, like it really works. Now it's my duty and my job now to continue with that.
mm,
And it does make your day flow a lot easier because
mhm.
you know exactly what's expected, but
Yes.
you also able to focus on one thing at a time.
Mhm, mhm.
So you're more productive and you just get through it on a much higher note than you would
Yeah.
usually have done.
It's like
Yeah,
you operate on the higher frequency, and there aren't so many
exactly.
unknowns anymore that are triggering you,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then you find like you have enough time to do everything.
Mm,
It's just like you were wasting it before,
mm,
because
mm.
you spend so much hours just doing nothing of trying to focus on so many different things in the couple hours that you're trying to be active that
Mm,
it's just unbelievable how
mm,
different it is. Yeah,
mm. Oh, that's
yeah,
brilliant. That's so good to hear. Well done. Well done. It's obviously, a big part of it is I think you mentioned it's the work you put in. So well done.
yeah, it
So we've
does.
only got a couple minutes left, unfortunately, but let's
It's
end on
okay.
this note. So there will be people watching this who are on the fence about joining LMA. They're not sure if it's for them. They might, well, most likely do have some of the issues we've been talking about, maybe around, feeling negative, procrastination, the meaning they're assigning to things outside of themselves, whatever it is that's causing these issues. What would you say to someone essentially that's on the fence about joining LMA?
Oh my gosh. If you're seriously ready for a life change, I'm not talking about, oh, you see other people doing things and you just feel like, oh, you should be doing that or you should be doing this. No, if you're seriously ready to do the work and to change your life, don't even think about it. Just sign up
Mm,
because the information you get, the knowledge you gain, the wisdom you gain, and the practices that you do,
mm,
just get involved in it. Let it take over your life for the 6 weeks. Just go for it. Take control of your life. You know, it really does work. It makes a difference. And it's so amazing. The way you feel afterwards is like you can literally conquer the world. And that's a great feeling to have.
Oh,
Yeah.
Rochelle, thank you so much for that. It's a great note to end on. Take control of your life. So,
Yeah.
from Rochelle to you. So that's that's brilliant. So Rochelle, have a beautiful day. Congratulations on graduating from LMA.
Thanks,
I'm sure
Keelan.
I'll see you again soon.
All right. Take
Bye bye.
care. Bye bye.